The reason I got those attentions is because I cheated the system and I copied from people that knew the answers. The reason I share that with you is I want you to cheat the system, and I would like you to copy from me. In school, you get punished for that. In real life, that's called success. If you would like to have success, then copy someone that has had it. And what I'm going to share with you now is some of the most recent content and value that I'm bringing to prospects that's helping them make a decision for a close. And I call that the 3 C's. So let's jump into it. Let's get to it. The 3 C's that I'm going to talk to you about today are the cash combo close. Now, many of you might have heard of the 3 C's of prospecting, which is to compliment, and then I don't know those 3 C's anymore. I can't remember. But Scott also has 3 C's, which is like commitment, creativity, and consistency or something like that. But these 3 C's are the cash combo close. That's what we're talking about. How do you talk to a lead, a prospect, someone that's interested in what you have to offer? And how do you bring value to them immediately so that they can see why they would want to work with you? When you look at the process of selling a car, there is a distinct process. When you walk onto the lot, the salesman is going to greet you a certain way, and they're going to take you to your car. They're going to let you sit in the car. They're going to let you feel it. They're going to let you, drive the car, feel the wind in your hair, turn up the stereo. You get to drive the car so that you make a decision to purchase something that is quite expensive. The majority of cars are over $20,000. Well, our product is $20,000. That's what it costs. Some people start lower than that, but our entire product, it's $19,994. And what I would like to help you do is I want to put you in the car and help you understand that you can smell it, feel it, touch it, and experience it so that you can make a decision for $20,000 that, although it might never be comfortable to make that decision, at least you can feel good about the value that you're about to purchase. And that's how I frame the cash combo close. And I use math to do it. So here's what we talk about, the way that we go about explaining and talking about Renatus is we frame it, and I keep using that word frame because there's a specific book that I would love you to be able to read. It's called Pitch Anything. Scott Rowe has also read it, and it helps you understand the frame. It's by Orrin Claff. Get it on Audible and listen to it. So when I read that book a couple years ago, I decided to reframe the way we presented our opportunity of Renatus. And the way that we frame it here in Utah and with Elevate is what we call the 4 pillars of wealth. We talk about recovering cash flow and building cash flow with us here in Renatus. The first way to recover is through tax strategies and velocity banking. And then we talk about building in real estate and business. And this is some of the things that we talk about. So if you have never seen my 4 pillars of wealth or Mitch's 4 pillars of wealth, the way that we do that, all of you are welcome to watch it. It's the one that I currently have recorded is 38 minutes long, and it's epicplanwebinar.com. This is, you can at least come and see how we present the information, and then you can use it or not. It's totally up to you. I don't capture any information from this whatsoever. It's just a link of me doing a webinar presenting the 4 pillars of the Renatus Wealth Cycle within taxes, banking, real estate, and business in 38 minutes. Some people use it for their prospects. It's totally up to you. But you can see how we frame it. Once somebody has seen that 4 pillars of wealth presentation, whether it's live or by webinar or in a one-on-one, then I move into the closing process, right? And closing is a process, and I'm going to share it with you right now. So what I talk to them about in the next segment, whether this is a 3-way call, a group follow-up, or a one-on-one follow-up, is basically, what do you want to accomplish, and where are you now, and where do you want to go? I use the analogy of, where would you like to travel to? And most people will tell me some exotic destination, and I'll say, great. Well, in order to travel to that exotic destination, you need to know where you're starting from. That's how you plan a trip. So you can know how much it's going to cost, you can know how long it's going to take. You've got to know where you are. And I said, so then I say, financially, where do you want to arrive? And I find that most people tell me they want to have $10,000 a month in passive income. That's like, for some reason, that's this bar that a lot of people see as financial freedom. And I think it's a great goal. And I say, okay, fantastic. Well, to get to $10,000 a month passively, you've got some options. You can save up $4.6 million in your 401k, or you could learn to buy assets and have them pay you consistently every month. And that's why you want to work with us here in Renatus. And I say, so if that's the goal, that's the destination where you want to get to, then let's talk about where you are. And these are the 3 things that I want to know where they are. I need to know their credit score, what current loans they have, and what discretionary income is available to them, so that I can help them recover cash flow and then begin to build it. So I just simply say, yeah, where are you at with stuff? And they say, well, I have a house, and and I ask these 3 different things. I ask them, okay, on your different loans, how much do you owe? How many years to pay off, and what is your monthly payment, right? So they say, I owe $200 on the house. My monthly payment is $1,600 a month, and I've got 28 years left. Okay. On the car, I owe $8,000. My monthly payment is $500, and I've got 3 years left to pay. On my student loan, so they lay it all out, okay? I owe, $12,000. My payment is $300, and I've got 24 years to pay on it, right? Okay, so they lay out their loans. And I go, okay, great, so now we know where you are. And by the way, in this process, I am pushing on the pain. Write this down if you're taking notes. People will move towards a decision by running away from pain much faster than running towards pleasure. If you push on the pain, you will force them to move away from it to a decision that will change their life. People are only motivated by 2 things to make a decision, pain or pleasure. Pain is a much bigger motivator. So pleasure helps. It's good. Lifestyle, letting them know, freedom, having their wife at home or their husband at home, being able to travel, that's all pleasure. And it works. People will run towards it, but they will run faster away from pain. So push on the pain when you are doing the cash combo close. So next up, I say, okay, so now that we know where you are, let's talk about some of this stuff. And I just share with them in my own words what I've learned from some of the classes in Renatus, particularly what I've learned in Mark Kohler's classes around taxes. and I say, okay, the first thing that you need to do to save and recover cash flow and taxes is you need to go into startup mode of your business. When you go into startup mode, you will have 400 plus tax deductions available to you, and this is how it works. And I just lay out my business model that Mark Kohler taught me. I say I have an S Corp, I take a 1/3 salary and a 2/3 dividend, and I do not pay self-employment tax on the dividend. Right then and there, I save on average $8,000 to $10,000 a month. The average business owner pays 8% in taxes. The average employee pays 30% plus, right? And I know that you guys know this information, but being able to do it within the tax matrix or whatever you want to call it in a simplified format, what I want you to write down as a note right now is that keep it simple, right? Keep it simple, because a confused mind quits. People do not care how much you know. They don't. They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And that is a very true statement of sales. Also, sharing information is important. It's valuable. But it is not what is going to get you a sale. You have got to stop talking about the features and the benefits and collect a decision. We do three things. We educate, we inform, and we collect a decision. And you've got to stop talking in order to be able to collect that decision. Educate, inform, and collect. All right. So I will then share with them the 4 benefits of a rental. Talk to them about why that's so powerful and some of the things that they'll learn. Cash flow appreciation, deductions, and depreciation. I talk to them about putting their kids on payroll, and I show them how I've done that. And then I talk to them about all the write-offs available in their life, including the write-off of their education. Right? How their Renatus education is a full write-off. So that's recovering the taxes. Now I get into the juicy part. The juicy part is velocity banking. This is what really connects with people more than anything else that I've ever encountered that we have in Renatus. When they say that sex sells, this is the sex that we have here in Renatus, right here. This is what sells. This is what connects to the crock brain of people, because everybody has debt. Not everybody wants to flip houses, but everybody has debt. And we have a way to pay it off fast. And so this is where I really go in for the close. This is the jugular. This is the velocity banking concept. And I share with them the simple format of how lines of credit are simple and loans are amortized, and how they can pay off a loan, including all of these loans back here. They can pay these off in a very fast amount of time mathematically. So this is the mathematical close I go into when a one-on-one or even a group follow-up, right? Here it is. The one simple concept is to reduce your monthly debt service and increase your cash flow. All right, well that sounds great, John. How do I do that? Well, let's talk about it. The flip concept of velocity banking is very powerful. The chunking method of velocity banking is also very powerful. The one that I like to use for the close is the flip method. The flip method is a simple concept whereby you can share with them, look, if you are able to put all of your debt into one bucket, right? That's that mortgage, your car, your student loan, and even your Renatus education. You put it into one bucket. Let's take a look at what happens if you use velocity banking for that bucket, right? You're going to velocity bank this down through that monthly chunking that we've talked about. So how much is your house worth? And they say, well, my house is worth 300 grand. All right, fantastic. At the local bank, many local community banks, wherever you are around the country, will give you an 80% loan to value first position HELOC, loan to value. Now, you will need a credit score over 700. You will need a consistent W-2 income. Usually you want to be making over $5,000 a month-ish household, and you will need at least 2 years tax returns if you are self-employed. Okay, but if you have those things, 80% loan to value, first position HELOCs are available. I just got one last October and paid off my house and a rental with it, and now I'm chunking down that line. So they work. We've helped dozens of people, even now hundreds of people, acquire these first position lines, and they work. So just take 300 grand and times that by 0.8, and that will equal $240,000. Well, $240,000 is the amount of your bucket, all right, 240K. So your mortgage of 180 fits in there. The car payment, the car of 15 grand fits in there. The student loans fits in there. And your Renatus education all fits in there. $240,000 fits into the bucket. So now just take $240,000 and times it by an average interest rate of 4%. The reason I use 4% is because that's the average HELOC interest rate. So do that simple math. 240 times 4% will equal your monthly debt service. So, I just keep it simple, and I pull up a calculator, and I let them punch their numbers in so they know I'm not doing any magic or anything like that. Right? 240 times 0.04 equals 9,600. Well, that's yearly because that's an annual percentage yearly. So 9,600 divided by 12 is their monthly debt service. They will pay for up to $240,000 in debt with an $800 interest-only payment. That's an interest-only HELOC line of credit. Well, if you could pay for your mortgage, your car, your student loan, and Renatus for $800 a month, what would that do to your cash flow? Cash flow goes up, right? All right, so now let's just talk about it. You've got an income of, let's say they make $6,000 a month, and they used to have bills of $5,500, but you just put all their bills in one place. So now they have bills of $3,500, right? Because you helped eliminate a monthly debt service. So they've got $2,500 a month in cash flow now that you just created for them, $2,500 a month. And now you take their total debt, okay, divide it by their new $2,500 cash flow, and this is the money right here. Show them how quickly they'll pay it off. So let's say they have 180 on the house, 20 on the car. That's 220. 20,000 in student loans. All right, 220. 10,000 in student loans. 180. Cars is 10, so 190. 10 on the student loans is 200, and Renatus is 220. So they have $220,000 in debt. 220 in debt. 220,000 divided by 2,500 will equal their payoff. So $220,000 divided by 2,500 a month will equal 88 months. So they will pay off everything in 7.3 years. That includes their Renatus education, right? They pay off the house, the car, the student loans, everything in 7.3 years with that new cash flow. So if you want to break it down just on terms of how much does the combo cost them if they're able to do it this way, it costs them $66 a month at 4%. $66 a month if they do it in a line of credit strategy. That is pretty awesome. That's why cash combos are very possible using lines of credit. So then I just lay out the 30, 60, 90-day plan. I say, okay, starting today, you're going to watch Essentials. The first month, you're going to get through Essentials. Second month, your first track of education. By the third month, you're making offers consistently with capital that you've raised so that we can get you into a property to be able to buy and hold or flip very quickly. That's the plan. And then I move into closing questions. Right? The closing questions, there are many of them. So when would now be a good time to get started? If I could help you do that within the next 30 days, would you be ready to get started? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being ready to start right now, where are you at? There's multiple different closing questions. The key here is to stop selling. Stop selling. Write this down right now. Wherever you are around the country, stop and write this down. People want you to tell them what to do. Right? They need you to be confident. And here's what you need to write down. That people don't care about your product. They care about what your product will do for them. They don't buy your product because it has you have 54 full-day classes, lifetime of education, practitioner instructors, online education. They buy your product because of what it will do for them. So you have to paint the picture of possibility. And then you have to stop painting the picture of possibility and go into closing. Stop selling them on the product and close them to the decision. Here's some books that I have read that I love, that really have helped me. If you are looking to improve your closing, read this one, listen to it on Audible, and then read it again. Straight Line Persuasion is on YouTube by Jordan Belfort. He's the Wolf of Wall Street. He's hardcore, but he's awesome. And he will teach you a lot. So that is my 3 C's of a cash combo close. And how to take somebody from the process of seeing the opportunity presentation to the point of a decision. The only product that people hear me talk about is the Renatus product, which is $20,000. At the point of the close, if it becomes apparent that they will not be able to do it, then I talk to them about a different plan, which could possibly include them bringing in a learning partner, and then possibly they could start by dipping their toe in at a product price that we have at $2,000, which is the beginning part of our $20,000 package. So that's what I do. Doesn't mean that's what you have to do, but that is what has helped me be able to produce what I have. So Diva, I was going to pull up my business center, but it doesn't look like I have that option. Sorry about that. I'll just do this instead.
Just do a share my screen.
Okay, give me a second here. When I go to that, Diva, sorry, when I go to the share thing, it only gives me the options for a document, a whiteboard, or a photo. And I think that's because I'm on my iPad. So, anyways, that's okay, guys. I was just going to show you what I already told you, which is, I have just been so fortunate, and I am so grateful for this company because it has helped me reach this milestone as of literally this week in passive income with no employees, with a scalable system. Over 600 people around the country on my team. It's allowed me to, I never spoke in front of people on a stage in my life before this company. I had never been able to go to a restaurant and not look at the menu prices before this company. Money is no longer the determining factor for why I make a decision. And that is an incredible, incredible thing to be able to say that this company has done for me, this opportunity has produced for myself and my family. I am so grateful. My family and I are in a very different place now because someone took the time to help us and to show me the value and to share with me how this opportunity could change my life and how it could change yours. So remember that behind every lead, every prospect is a transformational story, right? Like you have the ability to impact somebody's life in such an incredible way. And my life has been just totally changed. Josiah's doing incredibly well. This was at a race that my wife just ran recently, and we have 4 beautiful kids now. We get to, we're taking them to Hawaii for 2 months to help build the team out there in January and February. And we first have been able to have our lives changed, and now we're changing others. So thank you for letting me come out. I hope that some of what I shared was helpful and that you guys could use that for your own businesses. I appreciate you guys spending time with me this morning. And, Diva, I think I have 5 more minutes. If there's anything else I can help you guys with, I'm happy to answer questions or whatever you would like. So, Diva, I think I'm done. But is there any questions I can answer?
5 more minutes. So I'm going to take a second really quick to clear the chat lines. I know a bunch of you were typing thank you.
Not type thank you.
If you could not type thank you and leave a little bit of
people
room
who have
for
any
people who have
questions.
any
John's
questions.
got 5
John's
minutes.
got 5 minutes.
And John, somebody's looking for your email.
Somebody's looking for your email.
So they can contact you.
Yes. I'll type it somewhere. Let me see. Here, I'll write it. Thank you, Diva. Let's see. My email is quite simple. It's just John. I'm actually a Jonathan, so it's spelled Jon with elevate at gmail.com. That is my email. And let's see here. I've got a question from Brian Tracy. He says, do you have an example of your velocity banking example on a website? Yes, Brian, I do. Epic Plan Webinar covers that. And I recently have filmed some new stuff on my follow-up process and the velocity banking that will be made available at some point here in the future. There's some things I can't talk about, but it will be nationally made available soon. Renatus is taking some of my content and some of the campaigns that we've created, and they're going to make that available to everyone in the company, so including you. Very cool. Any other questions, you guys? Anything else I could share with you before we call it a day? Looks like, thank you for that. That's, it's simple. I don't capture any information from that. It's just 38 minutes of the 4 pillars. And you guys are great. You guys are dedicated. Way to go. Keep it up. Looks like no more questions, Diva.